page in our math notebooks for today's notes. So today, we are labeling the top of our page 2.6, add and subtract decimals, and today's date, which is 10/28/20. Oh, that's better. Okay. It's brighter than yesterday, isn't it? Good. Yep. Well, okay, technically that's an and sign. You can't see it as well up there. If you draw, here, I want to post it. An and sign can be like this. That can be an and sign. That's what I usually do. Like that. An and sign. So that's usually how I do my and signs, because the way you usually see it, like if you type an and sign, it can be a little more difficult to do that in person. So if you do just that little loop, like down and then a loop to the left, that can be an and sign too. Yep, exactly. Yeah, they are hard, you're right. Okay, so we should be getting our title and today's date down. And like I told you guys, today is all about practice. Practicing the skills that we learned the last 2 days with adding and subtracting decimals. Are we ready to move on? Okay, so practice. Oh, let me look this. Practice. Miss. Thanks. I thought I'd get a little festive since it's the week of Halloween with purple and green. Be careful. Yeah, I think I had lost my orange pen, and that's why I didn't do orange. I found it after I did the notes, but while I was doing the notes, I remember I was sitting there, I'm like, where is it? Where is it? I couldn't find it. So then I'm like, okay, purple it is. Happens to me all the time. Awesome. So we're taking our notes, Elena. Practice. Does everyone have their practice section labeled on their page?
Yes, sir.
In the future, I do prefer ma'am. Okay, so that's okay. There are 5 problems. I will scroll down for the 5th, or move it down for the 5th once we get the first 4. So, number 1, 3 and 68/100ths plus 4 and 9/10. Voice is off. Number 2, 6 and 4/10 plus 789 thousandths. And I skipped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines before I came down to 3 and 4. Number 3 is 7 minus 3 and 43/100ths. Number 4 is 6 and 9/10 minus 4 and 59/100ths. Give me a thumbs up when you've got the first 4 down, and then I will move my notebook down so that you can see the 5th one. So thumbs up when you have the first 4 down. And Elena, we titled our page 2.6, add and subtract decimals, on today's date. So 2.6, add and subtract decimals, on today's date. Thank you, Emmy, for giving me a thumbs up. Thank you, Senna, for giving me a thumbs up. Thank you, Addie and Allison, and Bill, Mackenzie and Richie, Chanel, Layla, Richie, Eosius, Frankie, Drew, Zoe. Michael. There's a few more people finishing up. Jack P. Grayson. Elena. Alright. Jacko, are you done with your notes? Okay. Or with taking them? Yeah. Yeah, we're not solving them yet. Yep. Alright. Then number 5. So again, skip 6 lines. So number 5 has a couple numbers. But it's good to practice these kinds of problems. So number 5, 219 and 51 hundredths plus 127 and 2/10 plus 2 and 49 hundredths. Once you get this last one down, then you can go ahead and solve all of them. Remember our steps. Line them up, drop it down, fill them in, solve. You can always look back at yesterday's and the day before's notes to help as well. I will know you are done. Yeah, that's adding. When you're sitting quietly with your thumbs up, or you're quietly reading, writing, drawing, or doing something silent at your desk. Go ahead, 5th grade. What? Number 1? Yes. I think I can make a note of it. Kind of. Yes. Yes, we're filling zeros. Are you good with number 1, Mackenzie? All right. I know. Yes, it is. Number 4? Number 2. There you go. Make sure you're paying attention to whether you're adding or subtracting. You don't want to get that mixed up. So number 1, you're adding. Number 2, you're adding. Number 3, you're subtracting. Number 4, you're subtracting. Number 5, you're adding. Just a reminder with number 5, the thought of adding all 3 at the same time is kind of challenging for you. You can always add 2 of the numbers first, get that answer, then add the 3rd number. And thank you to those of you who are done and you are working on something so I don't need help distraction. That is awesome. That can find something that I don't think you at your desk. Give me another moment or two to finish off the problem. Yep. Ready to rock. All right, if you're reading, close your book and set it aside, please. If you're coloring, please set your coloring utensils aside. If you're writing or doing something else, please set that aside as well. Let's look at these practice problems together and follow along with me. See if you follow the same steps I did and get the same answer as me. So, first one, we had 3 and 68 hundredths plus 4 and 9 tenths. So I'm going to start by writing my first number, 3 and 68 hundredths. Now, I need to add the 4 and 9 tenths. So my first step is to line them up. I need to line up the decimals. So I'm going to place the decimal, and directly to the left I have a 4, directly to the right I have a 9. Then I'm making sure I'm adding. How many of you go and circle the operation symbol when you get a problem like this, or when you're doing multiple types of problems? How many of you circle the operation symbol? Zoe, you do? Is there anyone else who does that to make sure you're doing the correct operation? How many of you might that be a good idea to start doing when you have like on a test you're doing multiple ones? Yeah. So I recommend, like here we're adding and subtracting, circle that operation symbol so that you make sure you're doing the right operation. So adding, and I'm going to put my line on the bottom. So I lined them up. Now I need to drop down that decimal, and then I need to fill in any spaces. We have 1 space after the 9, so I'm going to put a 0. So 8 plus 0 is 8. 9 plus 6 is 15, so I'm going to carry the 1, write the 5. Then 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 1 is 8. So you should have ended up with 8 and 58 hundredths. How many people got 8 and 58 hundredths? Awesome. Awesome. Hands down. You're right. You only had to carry the one once. All right, number 2. Same steps, and I'm adding. I'm going to circle that operation symbol. Make sure I write the addition symbol. So I'm going to write my first number, 6 and 4/10. Then I need to line up, make sure my decimal lines up. So I'm going to write the decimal. So directly to the left of the decimal, I have a 0. And then to the right, I have a 7, 8, 9. And I'm going to put my addition symbol and my line across the bottom. So I've lined them up. Now I need to drop down that decimal point, straight down, and then fill them in, any spaces. So I'm going to put 2 zeros to the right of the 4 because there are 2 spaces. Now I'm ready to solve. So 0 plus 9 is 9. 0 plus 8 is 8. 4 plus 7 is 11. So I'm going to carry the 1, bring down the 1. 6 plus 1 is 7 plus a 0, it's still 7. So 7 and 189 thousandths. How many people got 7 and 189 thousandths? Awesome. Great job. Now let's look at number 3. So I'm going to scoop this up. There. So number 3, we had 7 minus 3 and 43 hundredths. So I'm going to circle my operation. So my first number is 7. Now, this was a whole number. Where is that imaginary decimal point, 5th grade? Where is the imaginary decimal point in the whole number, or in the whole number 7? Where is it, Elena? It's just to the right of the 7. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the decimal point so that I make sure with my decimal number here that I'm still lining it up. So there's my decimal point. Now I'm going to line them up. So write my decimal. Directly to the left, I have a 3. Then to the right, I have 4 3. I'm going to add my subtraction sign and my line. So I've lined them up. I'm going to drop down my decimal point, and then I'm going to fill in any spaces. So I have 2 spaces to the right of the 7, or right of the decimal point. Now I'm ready to solve. Can I do 0 minus 3? No. Can I borrow from this 0? No. I have to go all the way to the 7, borrow from it. The 7 becomes a 6. Now, can I carry that 1 all the way over to this place? No. I need to go directly to the place to the right of it first. So first, I'm bringing that 1 to my 10th place. That becomes a 10. Now I can borrow from the 10, turn that into a 9, and then bring the 1 over to my hundredths place. Now I'm ready. So 10 minus 3 is 7. 9 minus 4 is 5. 6 minus 3 is 3. 3 and 57 hundredths. How many people got 3 and 57 hundredths for this one? How many people got tripped up on borrowing from the 7 all the way over? I know I used to all the time. Yes. So when you have to skip a couple places to borrow, you need to make sure you're first delivering that 1 to the place next to it. Turn that into a 10 or an 11 or whatever it's supposed to be. Then you cross that out and borrow from that place to then bring it to the place you need. So you can't skip over any places, okay? Because if you think about it, in this ones place, we can't just borrow from the ones and give directly to the hundredths. We have to borrow from the ones, then give to the tenths, then we can borrow from the tenths and give to the hundredths. Yeah, yep. Oh, you did addition. Yeah, yep. Okay. Yeah, so that's why circling the operation symbol can be really helpful. So number 4, we have 6 and 9/10 minus 4 and 59 hundredths. So I'm going to circle that operation symbol. First number, 6.9, 6 and 9/10. Then I'm going to write the decimal for the second number to make sure it lines up. Directly to the left, I have a 4, so I'm going to write the 4. To the right, I have a 5, 9. So, and then I'm going to write my subtraction sign and my line across the bottom. I've lined them up. Now I need to drop down the decimal point and fill in any spaces. So I have one space, put a 0. Now I'm ready to solve. Can I do 0 minus 9? No. So I have to borrow from the 9 next door. 9 becomes an 8. Then I can turn this into a 10. 10 minus 9 is what? 1. What's 8 minus 5? 3. And what's 6 minus 4? 2. You're right. 2 and 31 hundredths. How many of you got 2 and 31 hundredths for number 4? Awesome. Awesome. Good. Now we have the last one. Okay. Testing our chops, you guys. You're testing our abilities. Okay. So, like I said, if the thought of adding all 3 numbers together seems really daunting, you could just add like the first 2 numbers, get that answer, then add the 3rd number. I'm going to stack them all together because some of you did that, and I want you to make sure you were able to follow the steps correctly. So, I'm going to write my first number, which is 219 and 51 hundredths. Now I need to make sure my second number lines up. So I'm going to put the decimal first. Then to the left I have 127. So 127. To the right I have a 2. Then my third number, I'm going to make sure that decimal lines up with the first 2 decimals. Directly to the left I have a 2. So I'm just going to write the 2. And then to the right I have a 4 and a 9. Awesome. Now I'm adding, so I'm going to put my addition symbol and my line. So I've lined up all 3 decimal points. Now I need to drop down the decimal so it's ready in my answer. And then I need to fill in any spaces. So first, I have this space next to the 2 in my second number. And then I have 2 spaces before the 2 in my third number. Am I ready to solve now, 5th grade? Yes, I am. 1 plus 0 plus 9 is 10. So I'm going to carry the 1, bring down the 0. Now, when we have a lot of numbers like this, breaking it up helps. So 5 plus 1 is 6, plus 2 is, plus 4 is 12. Carry the 1, bring down the 2. Then I have 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 7 is 17, plus 2 is 19. So carry the 1, bring down the 9. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 2, 4, and then we have a 0, so it would be 4. And then we have 2 plus 1 plus 0, which is 3. 349 and 20 hundredths. Raise your hand if you got number 5 correct. Okay. Did anyone see a silly mistake in some of their math that you caught? Whether that was writing the wrong operation, whether that was adding or subtracting just a little bit off? Yes, that happens. And so we want to make sure we are taking our time and reading the problem correctly and writing it correctly. Yes, Will? So what I want you to do is close your eyes or put your head down. You're going to tell me how you're feeling about this. You're going to tell me your level of understanding. All right, so when I say go, you are going to show me 1 through 5 how you're feeling about adding and subtracting decimal numbers. Remember, 1 means even with help I still don't understand, and 5 means I'm very confident with this. I could teach someone how to do this. Go ahead, show me your level of understanding. Adding and subtracting decimal numbers, 1 through 5. Show me how you're feeling. Hands down, hands down, hands down. Open up your eyes. Nice work today. I want you to take out your workbook. I'm going to tell you what your homework is for tonight. So math workbook. Math workbook. All right. No. 93. 93. No. Oh. Alright, so on 93, we are circling number 1, number 3, number 11, number 12, and then number 14. So I'm going to say it again. We are on page 93. We are circling number 1. Voices should be off. Number 3, number 11, number 12, and number 14. All right, nice job taking notes today, 5th grade. I'm going to give you 5 to 10 minutes of homework work time. What should our volume level be during this time? A 0. Yes, I'll turn on work music. Go ahead and get started on your math homework.